Desmond here from Performance Destination. If you're looking to have your car tuned, whether it's on the dyno or remote, reach out to us and see what we can do for you. We meet the needs on all computer systems. So, this is gonna be a nice little session today. Fully built STI, Link ECU. It says Cobb, but it's not. It's gonna be a nice day. Can't wait. For the Link and the Haltech is good, but Haltech standalone, Link's a standalone, but the Link ECU uses a stock header in the background. So it's so much. That's why whenever you put that ECU in and it fired up right away, it's like it has a stock header operating in the background. So even like the CAN communication of like getting all your the display, all that, after all that gets configured, everything will work like factory. Everything will operate like factory. Everything will read like factory. It's so much easier, I feel like, on a car like this. Simple. Now, if you're talking about an all-out drag car and you need other kind of custom strategy functions and say whatever, Haltech is good, but the Haltech ain't gonna do more than what the Link ain't gonna do more than what the Haltech, whatever like that. I just feel like it could be a little bit more user-friendly of viewing sometime for the customer, depending on what it is, depending on the level of built for stock or whatever like that. But I think the Link is really good. It's very, very straightforward. Their base map on all these Subarus and actually on all their cars. I've never had a base map, like a startup file, that never fired the car up. It fired up, it may run rough because it needs to be adjusted, needs to be calibrated for the injectors it has, map sensor, all that kind of stuff, but it always runs good on the first fire up. But let's go ahead, let's unstrap it, and let's get the day started. That's fine. I see, so I hear some hissing. I don't know what that is, but we're gonna find out. See what it do. Go ahead, pop the hood. Something was hissing. Yeah. What's up, sir? Fire it up for a second. It sounded like a vacuum leak. I hear it. It sounded like a vacuum leak. All right. Or something rubbing. Remember, so if I do a boost leak test, and if I pressurize it from here, and it's supposed to hold and not hissing back there, because the turbo is going to breathe the same exact way. Air is coming in just like how the turbo is going to breathe. So you're not going to hear it leaking while the car is running, but you will see it on the dyno when we go to make a full hit and perform. It will get up to its boost target or wherever our duty I want it, and then it's not going to hold. It's going to like taper off, or it may hit and fall off, or it may not even hit it fully because whatever is leaking is trying to build. It's losing and building at the same time. So if it doesn't hold like this, it ain't going to hold on the dyno to redline. So if it's something hissing back there, then we got to figure out that, and then once we figure out that, then we redo the boost controller lines, put it on the dyno, and you go from there. What's happening is, doing a boost leak test is leaking out the top port of the gate, and it shouldn't, because there's a diaphragm between the bottom port. It's connected to the bottom port. There's nothing on the top port. So if the top port is bleeding out, that means there might be a rip in the diaphragm, which is it's ballooning from the bottom, and if there's a rip, it's putting pressure into the top of the gate and leaking out the port. So we're gonna take it off. I'm gonna put it on my test bench. I'm gonna do an operation for it to open and close by the bottom port, and then spray it as well. See if we get valve movement, and then also take the hat off and inspect the diaphragm and see what else we find. Beautiful little car. Nice little daily. Love it. All right, so we are getting this one set up. It's a Link ECU Subaru STI. I think he said 2016 or 2018 Subaru, but it's a beautiful car. It looks good. It's clean, nicely put together. Nice little setup. Shall see what it does today. I love doing Subarus on Link ECUs. A lot of people don't even realize like how good these cars run on Link. It's phenomenal. And I don't even like be trying to exaggerate. It's phenomenal. But we shall see, you know, get him set up on nice little configuration, start the process, get him nicely dialed in, make some good power, good drivability, always good drivability, and go from there, you know, little by little, get him right. So we're gonna go through everything. Gonna set up his TPS, get it all nicely calibrated and everything like that. This way his drive-by wire, everybody knows where I'm at, closed, knows where I'm fully open, and all in between. So gotta make sure I do that to make sure it's the first step of doing anything. All right, we got everything plumbed properly for the boost controller now. The gate situated and fixed. Holds better pressure. We already got the 93 already drained all of it out. Now we're gonna put the E in it and see what we do and see how this thing runs on the first startup and go from there. See what kind of power. The goal today is about 500, 550. So see how close we get to that. All right, so now we have everything configured properly. AFR is working, RPM is working, gas mileage is working, the factory display is working. Everything is working now. His O2 there is not working, but the ECU one does. So I'm gonna go based off of that. But we got the Link operating perfect. AC works. So now it blows cold air. His sport drive stuff, sport mode stuff, all works. Everything there works. So now we are ready to go on the dyno, and now we are all set. All right, so we're already strapped to the dyno, all loaded up. Everything's configured. Got the cars running smooth, cars running right. Drivability, we're gonna be testing that out right now. The idle quality, AC on and off, peach. Car doesn't even fluctuate in where it needs to be. So we're gonna get the car straightened out on the dyno, get the car set up, get the dyno all set up and calibrated, and then we're gonna start working it little by little. You know, I don't do full throttle runs so easily right away. Just work it up in small increments, and then once I know the AFR is looking good, then I'll run it through and then start getting kind of. Have to see how I'm gonna do the boost control strategy. He only wants 5 something, so we'll see what we can do on that. It's on E85 built setup. The only downfall of this is he never even did a compression test on his engine. Whenever you come to get your car tuned or before tuning, always make sure you do a compression test. I don't care if the engine is stock or built. Do a compression test because you never know what's going on with the car, what's going on with the setup. These boxer engines, it's on the side feed, and I get it. It's annoying, it's a pain, it's hard to reach sometimes. It's better to do a compression test when it's hot, so it's even worse when it is hot. So just be mindful of that. You want to do that. So we're gonna get things rolling and go from there. But remember, we're not going based off of this AEM, the AEM wideband, because it's not reading properly. Car fired up perfect. Everything is good so far. And I'm gonna go based off of the Link AFR on here. And then we're going to start dialing it in. On the AEM of Vigos, the default value when it's not working is 14.7 on these things. If it's stuck at 14.7, that is the default value that is not working. Sensor's dead, something's going on, connection, whatever. So always remember that. But I'm not worrying about that because I'm going based off what the Link is reading. So let's see how this car drives and start calibrating the dyno. Something soft, light, 319, 317. And then the next one, we're gonna rev it out further, give it some more power and see what it do. Now this is looking a lot better. It wasn't a full run still. I'm still letting off kind of early. 429, 400 for pounds. Power's jumping up now. Graphics looking good. Now it's starting to behave. That last run, it was a little bit lean. Not really lean. That lean to me is like 11.7, 11.8. I'm gonna put a little bit more fuel in it and we get this thing running a little bit better. Now it's starting to shape up and wake up. Took some time originally because he had told me it's a 4-bar map sensor. It was running a little funny, so I went into looked at the sensor a little bit closer. It's a COP sensor, but it's slightly bigger than a 4-bar, so it's not exactly a 4-bar. It's like 4 and some. So I had to recalibrate it in the ECU to double check it to make sure it's saved, because if they input the wrong value on this thing, it acts kind of funny. So after I got that situated, now we're talking. So far so good. We are getting there little by little. 505, 444. I'm still going in. I let off that run because I saw the car leaned out for a second. So I already corrected the fuel map. I already corrected everything. So we're gonna see what it does. I wanna rev it out further, of course, obviously, but I need to make sure I do it in steps. I don't know what the AFR target for that run. So I'm gonna slowly creep everything up until I'm comfortable, I'm safe. And then I go all the way straight to the red line. Let's see what it makes. So far, that's already the goal, what he wants. So it might make more, but it's built for it, so we'll see. So we lost some power on that run. There was some cuts that happened, but then it's like I saw the boost slowly fall off, but everything looks good. So I don't know, it kind of like do a little dip. So I made some changes. I looked over everything. Everything looks fine. So we need to get this thing to pick back up and moonshine over this run and make some power. I think this thing would be really good if it can make a solid, clean hit. It's gonna make some power. I think so. But so far, so good. Just gotta figure out what happened here and do another run. So we've been doing a few runs, not exactly where I want it to be. It made its goal twice, but not exactly where I want it to be. The car, as I started jamming on it more and higher RPMs and just putting on it more, it's leaking. So as y'all can hear even from idle, you can hear a hissing sound. It's coming from this general area Did a boost leak test, found some other things in the gate, all this stuff like that, but it's not showing any signs. But you can hear it sucking air from idle, and then once you start moving, it quiets it. So that tells me it's a vacuum leak. When you can hear it from idle, and as you start driving, it closes up and you don't hear it. So it could be an intake manifold gasket on the head, or the adapter, or it could be his ejector O-rings. But then again, I boost leak tested, pressurized everything, sprayed everything, and there was no bubble leaks. On the log, you can see it's building boost, it's falling off and trying to build again. And that's exactly what's going on here, where it falls off. When it falls off like that, that means that's exactly what's happening. It's the boost is building, but it's falling off. It's not holding all the way up straight through. His goal was 500. You know, I'm gonna leave it at 521, 437 for pounds. That's gonna feel really good for him. But I guarantee it, because at this run, at the 505 for the solid green, you can see how much more it was spooling up and hitting, how much more it was spooling up and hitting. And you can see it from here for the torque. And then that last one was this one. No, you can see it from this one. You can see it from here, and then that last one was this one. So you can see there's a difference in the gap. There's a difference in power jump. So, you know, and I'll kind of show that a little bit better real quick. Hold on. So you can see when it did 505 at this point in the RPM, it was at 490. That last run made more power, but it's not making as much all in between, and that's at 469. So that's a huge difference in power right there. That's a huge difference in foot-pound of torque right there. Just that horsepower alone is crazy. So if all the rest of these runs was mimicking the trace of the third run, like here, it would have just been making way more power than where it's at right now. And you could see it wasn't falling off like how it is now. So, you know, we gotta figure out what's going on with the boost control for holding pressure. And, you know, but overall, this thing drives great. Idle, fires, cruises, everything is perfect. But always want to make sure that you go over everything. Make sure everything is set up correctly. Make sure you take a look at everything. You fix everything. It was a good day today, but easily, just by looking at that, it could have been better. But, you know, it's a start. This is his first engine build. He built it himself. He put it together himself. So we're just here to do our job and put the car together properly for the tuning, on the tuning end of things, where it comes together. And so far it runs good. Idle, cruising, AC on and off, throttle wide open. Everything looks perfect. But you got to figure out what's going on with that vacuum leak. At idle, you can hear it just hissing, and it's not showing any sign from the boost leak test. So got to figure out that, and I guarantee you, if you do another run after fixing that, it's going to make some crazy jam. So you can hear it hissing. It's very, very loud. It's very, very noticeable. But like I said, it's coming from right here. And boost leak test, checked all over. I'm not seeing anything. Hopefully he doesn't have a crack on his intake manifold underneath it that I wasn't able to catch. But it looks good on the logs, except for the boost falling off. It drives good. But yeah, definitely you can hear it at idle, and it's very noticeable, and it reflects it on the graph. So you need to make sure y'all take a look at y'all boost leaks, make sure everything is fixed, make sure the car is 100% before dyno tuning. This way it makes it a lot easier and a little bit more quicker for start to finish, because I'm testing different calibrations, different strategies to make power, make it curve this way, make it hold power. And like, if this wasn't leaking, I probably would have been done maybe even an hour and a half ago. So, all right, AC, that's the AC on. Do AC off. Still good. AC on. Still good. AC off. Still good. That's what I like to see. The car, it did good, you know. So this is the earlier run when it first hit 500. But as I start jamming on it more, I see the boost is falling off, and you can see the difference. I put up a little tracer so I can see like different points of horsepower to horsepower by RPM, and you can see by that point, that RPM, you know, 468. That last one we done, we made more power, but the car is still like the transition of whatever's going on where it's leaking. It's still affecting it on the spool on the come up. Because they made 443 at that point. At that point, 468. It's a big difference. 435 up on the torque, 412 at that point. And you know what I'm saying? So like, and then up top, you know, revving it out, and I give it some more duty to see what it does. It holds it a little bit better, but like, it's still, you know, if it was mimicking the same run from the green one. Where say the boost held and spooled nice and hard, and the boost held out, it would have moonshined over this run. It would have went over that run, and you probably would have been. I would have probably had to turn it down. Probably would have been like mid fives or like that. So I had to turn it down this way. You know, it's more comfortable for you. Well, at the same time, I don't want to jam on it like too hard with too much torque because I don't want to tear up the transmission. I know you're not like making this a race car. This is more like a everyday kind of play around, enjoy, cruise around, comfortable, makes power, reliable, whatever, however you want to perform, and you know, on the streets and whatnot. But at the same time, I can tell by the log, and I can tell by how it slopes that the boost is falling off, and the power, when the boost falls off, the power falls off. I would like that. But if we can get it where it comes on and it just keeps building. And it just keeps holding out at the steady pressure, this whole thing will look a little bit more flat. Like this whole thing, like how it's bent, it'll bend further more flat, and it'll go red line, shift. So like, you want to address it. I don't know. Maybe as I started listening to it, I saw like it's like right in the middle, right here. Maybe it's a crack on your intake manifold. Maybe when you tighten down the bolts for the TPS, maybe something cracked it. I don't know, because when I did a boost leak test, nothing leaks. Nothing leaks now because when you left, we did another one. Nothing leaks out of the gate, but it also doesn't hold the pressure that I'm putting in. I said that before I even did the test. There's two ways. You'll find the leaks. That's one thing. Or if you do a boost leak test and there is no leaks, like no bubbles, but it also doesn't hold pressure. So you want it to hold the pressure, and then it does like a slow bleed off over time. So like this thing, as soon as I hit it, it holds for like a second and a half or 2 seconds, and then it's already gone out the system. So it's not leaking on the outside. So whatever, but maybe you might have to take off your intake manifold, inspect that. Take a look at the light, go through it. Maybe something throughout the body. Maybe something's cracked. It could be that. Something in that general area. You know, I can hear it planted right there. I thought about that when I was looking at it. I was like, what if it's a cracked intake manifold? Don't know. You know, I've done so many of these. I know the noise ain't common. What year is yours?
Same.
Yeah, yours sound like that? Yeah. So it could be something going on there. But like I said, the thing is with boost leaks is you have the cars going up RPM, it's dropping off in boost. The injectors is still spraying fuel as it's going up in RPM.
Yeah.
You don't have the incoming air to meet it at the fuel. So what happens is it will tend to run more rich up top in higher RPMs, higher boosts, because you no longer have the air to coming into it to meet it, to give it the balance of where I'm trying to target. And I'm pulling fuel out, adding fuel in this area, pulling fuel out, shaping it for whatever condition is in right now. You know what I'm saying? But if the car doesn't leak out boost, and the engine sees all the air, all the boosts, and it meets it at whatever amount of fuel I throw at it, it's gonna change the fuel map too. So it'll tend to run probably leaner than what I have it right now in boost. When you get into boost or like that, it'll run leaner and what like that. Right now, it'll go good, but I can see right where it falls off. I can see it's trying to go richer because the boost is leaking out, but the injectors are still pulsing at that high RPM, and you got less air, still dumping fuel, and it's gonna, it's gonna reflect on the AFR ratio. So just so you know, I'm kind of explaining all this way, like you don't have to ask no questions to anybody. You don't have to go on the internet. You don't have to ask that person, this person. When someone comes here, they already know what they need to fix, what they need to do, what they need to target, and when they go home, they already know what they got to get after. But the car still runs, it still drives and performs. So just letting you know that's how it operates. But your wideband in there don't work. Yeah. So you want to replace that, because you want to, while you're driving, you want to make sure that your wideband, you see how the car is driving, performing, or like that. I would probably put like an AEM X series in there. That's the newer model one, and that one. It reads a lot quicker. And then there's also a calibration function. So if the sensor's ever kind of looking fun, the readings ever look kind of funny, you could pull the sensor out and do a calibration, and it will tell you if it's passing or if it's failing. And it'll tell you right there that the sensor's good. On this, it'll go to 14.7 and it's dead. And it doesn't work. And that's the factory default value on this. That's it.
Would that just go on the downpipe next to the other one?
What did you take it out?
Yeah, because I'm using the one.
So you don't have a sensor in?
No, I have the.
I thought you had. I remember when I said out there, I'm like, we might need to replace the sensor.
We replaced that. We moved the sensor, put the sensor for the link.
Oh, yeah. Then you have the sensor still?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you need to add a second bone.
Okay.
Add another bone. Yeah. Get another.
Same together.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It could be next to each other. It could be like a little bit, like an inch away from each other, 2 inches away from each other, whatever. And, don't have to be parallel. Kind of have it its own little. I don't want one sniffer blocking the next sniffer, so have it kind of like a little off. This way they both have its exhaust pulse so they can smell it properly. But yeah, I thought you took the sensor. I thought the sensor was dead.
No.
Oh, okay. So that's how it reads also when the sensor's dead. So yeah, put the sensor back in it. Get another bone. You can order that from anywhere, and then go take it to somebody, get it welded in, screw it back in, plug it back up, and let that work. That's really it. Like all the bugs, we already replumbed the boost controller, figured out what was going on the wastegate. This car was never going to get no power when that wastegate was set up earlier. So just so you know that, the way that thing was set up earlier, we would never have been close to this. So, but it took a lot more time today than what it needed to be honest with you. This should have been a lot smoother, a lot quicker. Trying to figure out all the communication stuff. For one, I don't know why it was fighting in the beginning, and then also the map sensor. That map sensor is a little off, a little odd, but it's set up now. It's calibrated now. It's reading good now. It reads exactly how it needs to now. Your factory boost gauge in here is not going to read what it reads, and it's like what it's actually at, because your factory one, I think it taps out at 20 or 20 something, 24. Yeah. So by that time, it's just going to be buried, and it's not going to read anything. So just so you know that as well. Like I said, once you figure out whatever's going on, if there is a crack or if there is something or whatever it is, it's going to hit a cut. It's going to hit a boost cut, but I put it in there for protection, so this way it doesn't overboost, doesn't damage anything. So it will hit a cut. It'll probably like 30 something pounds, whatever like that, which is you're not far from that. So it will hit a cut, it's fine. Build setup E85. Injector duty is low. You're not max, not nowhere near max or anything like that. Everything seems great. I had no problems with everything now. Everything seems good now. Oh, re-bleed the cooling system. That's what I had a problem with. I had a problem with that. So I felt the radiator hose and I was like, nah, it's too pressurized. Usually I would take the cap off and I would, you know, put a fan and let this thing sit there forever, let it cool off a little bit, and I'll put the funnel on it, and I would bleed it myself and get the bubbles out, because that temperature is going to mess up with your AFR readings. That temperature fluctuating is going to mess up the AFR. The hotter it gets, the richer it's going to run. When it gets, and then all of a sudden it gets back to its normal operating temp, it'll go back to the target AFR where I want it at. But as it gets hotter, the ECU is trying to dump in more fuel. Even cruising or idling, no matter. Wide open, cruising, idling, it'll get richer. So if you're cruising, idling at 185, 190, then all of a sudden this thing gets to 205, 207, 208, it's gonna trail a lot richer. It's gonna go a lot richer because it's trying to dump fuel to cool the engine off and whatever like that. And then as it starts cooling off, then it would start not dumping as much, and then it would run where it needs to be. But you don't want it to be like that. You don't want the AFR swinging like that. You want that coolant temperature to stay controlled. This is a full-size radiator with 2 fans. Should be no problem controlling this temp. You know, don't get me wrong. This shop is hot. It's really hot in here. So that's why I have the fan. That's why I wet everything. When we go out in the street, it's probably going to be night and day different. You know, like temperature-wise, it should be a lot better. But address that and whatever like that. So besides that, man, that's it. It ran good. It felt good. Those last few pulls, man, that turbo is spooling. Hear that thing? You can hear that thing just screaming. And I turn the car off. I'm checking the computer. I come back around. I can hear the turbo still spinning on the intake pipe. It's just still spinning. What turbo is this?
Blouch.
Yeah. 2.0?
5.0.
The 5.0? Yeah, I do a lot of Evos on Blouches.
Yeah.
They make good power. A good range between 450, 540. Sometimes even I've done something that's made a little bit more, but that's like a good sweet range with those that make power easily. Not a big horsepower turbo, but it's a fast spooling turbo. Yeah. You know, light to light, nice little upgrade. But yeah, it did good. So, but yeah, you definitely want to look at those things and get those things situated.
For sure.
You can hear the hissing, whatever that boost leak is. You can hear it. And don't forget the shift.
Oh my god! That's great.
How'd that feel? It feels. I heard the wastegate open.
Yeah, I heard it this time.
I heard the wastegate open. It feels good.
That's great.
I like that. All right. Don't forget you ain't got no bumper for your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, boy. This car wants to party, bro.
For sure.
This car wants to party. You happy with it?
Amazing.
Make it right, bro. Oh, man.
I just gotta fix that damn noise.
Yeah, you need to fix that, bro. You need to fix that. No, that's that car. No, that's that car. And then it drives perfectly normal.
Yeah.
Like a normal car. I love it. What do you like about it so far?
driving around. AC blows cold.
AC blows cold. Feel stock. How did the power feel?
Crazy.
Yeah. I told you, I'm like, yo, it's gonna feel good on the street. I said it's gonna hit. Every gear change you hit, it felt strong. But imagine it's still gonna feel stronger when you fix whatever you need to fix.
Yeah.
So you're happy with it? All right, bro.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yo, this is a little sleeper. If you didn't have a red intercooler, it would have really been a sleep. It would have been a sleeper. It would have been a sleeper. So y'all Evo guys, y'all pay attention. See if you see this car on the road in Orlando.
Still learning the clutch, bro.
It's all good, bro. It's driving good.
Keep going straight.
Yeah, keep going straight. Make sure it drives good. Try to get up in higher gears. But I know the traffic's tight, but feels good. Nice and comfortable. All right, man. So tell me your overall experience. How did today go for you?
Interesting at first,
Yeah.
for sure, but I'm glad we were able to get mostly everything set up,
Yeah.
situated.
Yeah.
Thank you for the tips and the things you told me I need to get fixed. I
Yeah.
appreciate that, but the car feels a million times better than it ever did.
What was the drivability? What was drivability beforehand and what it's like now?
Beforehand, it was pretty mid. Driving with AC on was trash,
Yeah.
especially trying to take off at a
Yep.
light or something. Right now, with tune-up and everything, it's almost a stock.
How did it feel when we banged the gears and felt the power?
Crazy. Wow,
I'm not gonna lie, I can't wait to watch the pulls back and on the video. When I thought you were gonna regular shift it, when you shift it, I was like, oh shit.
I've been driving this car for a long time, bro.
This thing felt strong, bro. I appreciate you, brother.
No,
Thank
bro,
you very
thank you,
much,
man.
man. All right, guys. Come on. Stop. Thank you for watching this episode today. Welcome back to the channel. Desmond here. We wrap this one up. This is a Subaru fully built setup, Link ECU. He's having some issues with the drivability, how his car is performing. A lot of the features wasn't working on there for the factory features, because you have to have the RPMs, the factory display, the factory boost gauge, the sport mode. All that stuff was not working. We reconfigured everything, got everything programmed, got the CAN set up on it so everything's reading and operating properly. The car started making some jam. The car has a boost leak. He couldn't chase it down. I attempted at it. I found a few leaks, but he still had a hissing sound coming from his throttle body, intake manifold area, but it wasn't leaking on the outside. So I don't know if there's a crack in it or whatever like that. But so far, we finished it right at 521 and 437 foot-pounds of torque on E85. The goal was only 500 horsepower. We was almost there at the green run, and you can see that on the green run here. And you can see it on the green run. The green run was making more power than the final run. But then as I started continue on with the session, boost started falling off. So I told him, fix the car, let's stop it there. We'll reconnect, we'll figure things out after the car is running the way it needs to and holding the pressure and not going against the grain. We want to make the car make power easier, not by force. So I ran it out the back, made the number he wanted to make. On the street, this car was phenomenal. It ran so strong, it hit good. He surprised me when he went for that gear change. That thing felt planted. I love the way that car felt. And the best thing about it is he came to a stop, car drove smooth, car idle smooth. We turned the AC on and off, and it operated properly. The temp stayed a lot better than the actual when it was inside the shop. My shop is, you know, it's a lot hotter in here, but outside the street, the temp stayed a lot more manageable. But overall, it was a good day. We found all his issues, which was many and a lot of things going on. The car was running really rough beforehand. Like he said himself, when you turn the AC on beforehand, the car would never want to run idle or even like accelerate. It would just be jugging all the time. Now, literally, he has a full-blown Link ECU standalone system in his car, and the car is driving like factory. I want to make sure I hone in on the drivability part. I want to make sure the car ran good, start to finish for him, and he's happy, he's pleased, and another one done successfully. If you too would like to work with us just like how he did, give me a call at 941-268-7493, or you can catch me on all platforms of social media at Performance Destination. Thank you for watching, whether it's dyno, remote, or even travel tuning, where we come to your city, your country, your town, and we'll get you right. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Drop a comment below. Until next time.